putting very small amounts on my brush, but it seems to work much better when you have far less on the brush. I tend to sometimes overload my brush for this sort of process, I'm now realizing. Because it's going much better with less. I don't want it to flow too fast. While I'm here, I'll also put a little bit of shine over here on the, whatever this is. The little tip of the scabbard. The sword holster. The swordster. Whatever the scientific name of this little bit is. Right over here. Any blacksmiths in the chat? Take off your gloves. Let me know in the chat what this little piece of the sword is called. I'm assuming you're wearing mittens if you're a blacksmith. That's how it goes. I'd like to go one tiny little line through the center of this bit. There we go. There's like a little bit of separation. Are you doing damaged? Welcome. These are kind of tricky areas, but I think we're nailing it. I mean, I'd like to be slightly tidier, but this could be worse. All right, what do we think of the shield now? I think that looks good. Yeah, I like that. I will take a little bit of advice there from whoever said that in the chat. I don't remember, but I'll use some varnish on the center of the wood, because the wood is very shiny and I don't love it now that I'm looking at it again. I hadn't noticed it yet. Lord of the Rings is definitely still a thing, yeah. They don't really update it as much as the regular stuff though. I've never painted a Lord of the Rings miniature. They have like this big ass Smaug, the big dragon. Very cool, but also very expensive. So this should hopefully make, I diluted it a tiny little bit. This should hopefully make the wood a little bit less shiny. Where is it? I put it on my palette, but I don't fucking see it anymore because it's see-through. What? Didn't I put it over here? Ah, it's over here. Jeez. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense for wood to be shiny. Okay, so that should dull down the shield a bunch. When it's dry. Cool. I really like that actually. I'm very happy with how that shield turned out. We've got a couple more metal details. Like for example, there's little rivets over here on the reins. What time is it? Okay. I think we're gonna do painting for like another 50 minutes, guys. And then we're gonna do some StarCraft. That's the plan. Oh shit. Didn't realize. There we go. Adding a tiny little silver dot as well on all of the little studs that are on the reins. There's some as well on the other side. It's actually kind of neat that some of them have fallen out. So like there's one on the other side that is just a little hole in the leather instead. Nice little detail. Gonna make them a little bit shinier. Okay, good enough. I guess we'll do the same over here with like these little sections. I don't think we have to do everything, because it would make sense for some of the metal to be like less well maintained, you know? But I guess the horses stuff, it would make sense for it to be properly maintained. Same for the shield, obviously, and the weapon. Yeah, so this part of the face over here is skeletal. The horse is not doing well. There's also all kinds of holes in its skin. We will have to paint those in too. Like the horse's flesh is a work in progress. Yeah, I was a little concerned that this was going to be too shiny, but I actually kind of dig it. I think it looks nice. Yeah, it's okay. At least the horse is still alive, you know? I mean, it probably would have been dead otherwise. Now, I don't know how alive is, but... How much of alive? Yeah. He's got little pointy bits over here on the front of the saddle. Little spikes, just like that. Make him look nice and sharp. Same for this little bit of the weapon. I think it's called a pommel. Would make sense for that to be nice and well maintained. Oh, that looks really sharp. Nice. Noticeable sharpness. There's also little, whatever these are, like little circular bits right over here in the front of the horse's face. Is this like Nurgle's mark or something? I don't really know. I don't know what Nurgle's mark is, but I've heard people say that. I'm not sure though what this is supposed to be. There's like nails over here as well on the back. Plus this hook. I'd like this hook to be a bit shinier too. Maybe that's too much. There we go. A little tiny hook over here too. And the same then for the little sections over here on the back. It just makes them look a lot sharper, which is nice. Nothing worse like dull nails, you know what I mean? Are you gonna string up somebody's head on your saddlebags if you have dull nails? Need to be sharp. Clearly. Little hook over here too. There we go. Any more metal? There's a tiny little bit of metal over here. I just realized there's another nail. The camera doesn't really like focusing on the miniature sometimes. The thing on the... Oh, these are the marks of Nurgle? This? Oh, that could be. Joja, I'm not sure. You might be right. Maybe that's the mark of Nurgle, I'm not sure. I think we have to do this on the weapon as well. I'll try to make the... I'll do an edge highlight on the weapon. Okay. Same for this little side over here. All good. I'd like to do it here as well on the bottom of the blade. It's going to be a little bit tricky to get that in focus. I don't think it's going to focus because I can barely see it myself. We will make the blade more rusty later on. Thinking about maybe doing a couple of like little scratchy lines as well, right next to all of the little scratches on the blade. Maybe underneath each of the holes. Kind of like the idea of this. We'll see if I still like it after this. A little bit more visual interest. Yeah, I think that's good. We'll do the same on the other side. Yeah, a little bit of speckles. A little bit of speckling. Makes it look sharper somehow. Trying to avoid the recesses, but I accidentally hit one or two there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that has dulled down the shield a little bit. Still a bit shiny, but I think that's okay. I'm actually gonna add a tiny little bit of wildwood on the very tip of the weapon. Not on the weapon, but on like this little tiny, I don't know if you can see that, but like this is like a, it's like an extension of the wood. And I've painted this in a metallic color, even though it's supposed to be wood. At least I think it's supposed to be wood. We could probably play it off as well as metal, but I think I'm actually gonna base coat it real quick with a little bit of Blood Reaver flesh, and then we'll just make it, we'll cover it with a bit of wildwood. Yep. We'll give it a minute. It needs to dry first. I also want to do a bit of this Stormhost silver on all of the other metallic chainmail to make that like a little bit more shiny too. I think I'm going to take a slightly larger brush for it. I don't really want to dry brush it, but I kind of want to treat it like a dry brush. I saw somebody do this in a video, and I've never done it before, but I figured this would be the perfect time. Just want to get a little bit on my brush. We'll get rid of quite a bit of it. Trying to just brush most of it off. And then we're kind of trying to just go over all of the chainmail like this. So it should leave some of it behind, just to make some of it a little bit shinier again. You gonna focus, camera, or not? There we go. Make it look a little bit shinier. Yeah, I think that's good. That works. We just have to kind of prep the brush in the same way that we do a dry brush. I'll do a little bit of over here too. So I'm just letting the brush glide over the sections that we want to brighten up like that. So I have to do the same over here. Just have to be careful that I don't get it on the ropes. But that was pretty easy to avoid. A little bit over there too. Yeah, that makes a big difference. So that makes the chainmail look a lot shinier again too. Which it was when we first painted it, but then it got less shiny as we shaded it down. So now the shade is still there, but it's just in the recesses, which is exactly where we want it. Really nice. Yeah, so the same over here. This is quite dull at this point. Oh, this works surprisingly well. So I'm basically just prepping the brush in the same way I would a dry brush, although slightly less extreme. Yeah, that only deposits on the top of the little rings, which is nice. As long as I do it very gently. And in this motion over here, none of the paint should get into the little gaps. Okay. One little bit over here on the shoulder. This is quick. Yeah, that makes a really big difference. Adding these colors back, adding the shine back, it's real nice. Hell yeah. All right, good. That really does make things pop a lot more. The focus keeps shifting on the palette. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Why does it keep trying to focus on the palette? Maybe I need to just move the palette out of the frame. What about that? I have noticed most mini painters actually never have their palette underneath the mini like that. It's probably because they're afraid of dropping it. That's what I've been thinking anyways, but maybe I just need to make sure the palette isn't even on in the frame. Maybe that'll help with focus. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe that does help actually. Maybe that's the reason. I don't even know. Okay, we're gonna do a moment of highlighting as well for all of the little bronzy details. We want some of this paint, whatever it's called. Sycorax Bronze. It's still focusing on the palette, is it really? No, it's not, right? Sorry guys, I got a new camera recently, and I'm still trying to get the hang of it, but please keep letting me know whenever it's fucking up. Because I can't obviously look at my monitor at the same time while I'm... It's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying. Maybe I just need to not have the palette on the screen at all. Maybe I just need to move the palette way out of the way. Just move it off frame. Yeah, because it automatically wants to focus on the palette. How interesting is that? Yeah, it keeps focusing on the palette. Hello. Mr. Cameraman, what the fuck are you doing? All right, hold up. Let me look into the camera settings real quick. All right. I've changed the focus area to the middle of the frame. I don't know why it does this. I'm so confused by this camera sometimes. I've never had this issue before though. With my other cameras. I don't really understand. Why is it trying to focus on the stuff in the background more than the stuff on the foreground? Maybe I turn this setting on, product showcase. Well, I have a very wide depth of field. I have set my camera up properly though, I don't understand. I've set up many cameras in the past. I know how to work so many cameras. I'm a little confused why it sometimes starts hunting. Hold up, let me turn it off and then turn it back on again. AI is actively trying to take your job? I don't understand why it does this, guys. What if I move this, this pallet off the frame altogether? So we just move the pallet. Out of the frame. Why? I think it has to do with the minimum focus distance on the camera lens. I wonder if the lens is the issue. Yeah. So I looked into this. I know the minimum focus range on the camera. So I moved the camera way up. It's way higher up now than it used to be. And now it's fine, right? So I move it out of the way. It's gonna focus on the background. Why does it not grab focus immediately on this thing? What if I tap it manually on the screen? So now it's tracking it. So it should stay within focus. I think it's probably the lens. That's the only thing that I can make any sense of. But it should be okay like this. Okay. Yeah. I'll have to work with it, guys. I'm doing a bit of highlighting here on all of the bronze detail. Make the bronze nice and shiny again. It's the same idea as on all of the silver. There's not that many bronze highlights though on this thing that we need to do. There's some bronze over here that we'll have to add. On the rim of the bell. That'll make it look nice and shiny again. Okay. Is that going to work too, or is it going to start hunting again when I do it like that? There we go. What's going on, Shazar? How are you doing today? Obviously, we have the little gems right over here, or these little things, whatever they are, on the helmet, or not on the helmet, sorry, on the shoulder pad. I'll do a little bit of relayering here in some of the areas. Okay. You just ran 21K? Jeez. What are you running from? That's a long way to run. I like to run from my responsibility sometimes. Is that what you're running from? Death? It's gonna catch up to all of us, buddy. Eventually. But that's sick though, dude. Congrats. 21K? I could not do that. In 100 years, I may be dead, chat, but my Warhammer minis will still exist. You did 2 hours 15? Dang, that's pretty quick too. I realized the other day, by the way, guys, that a lot of Americans will refuse to use the metric system, right? But when it comes to running, suddenly a lot of people will be more than keen to use metric. What's up with that? Bigger number? I guess it's bigger number, right? Makes it look better. Bigger number sounds better. Maybe we should use centimeters then too, rather than inches. I have a couple of splotches that I left over here when I was highlighting the green. We'll cover up our mistakes. Should be good. Imagine if the US had also a different unit of time. Yeah, that'd be great. Hours are now called Washingtons. It is currently 14 Washingtons over here. Actually, no, we use base 10. We have 10 hours or 10 Washingtons a year or a day maybe? I don't know. 10 minutes as well. Much more convenient that way. There's 2 more little things that I want to do. I want to add a contrast paint, I think, to the skulls. I've always really liked adding skeleton horde to the skulls. Now, I've done it a bit differently this time around, obviously. But I'm thinking it might be quite a good idea. We don't measure anything in miles, Spool. I don't think there's anything in miles or feet in the Netherlands. For some reason, when kids are born, we do use pounds. To like describe how heavy a kid is when it's born, for some reason, the norm is to use pounds. I don't know why. I guess it's an old tradition. We measure all distance races in kilometers except the half and the full. Interesting. Scheduling with one friend from the US is very confusing around this time of the year. He studies in Arizona, but his family lives in Texas. Right. I've had a lot of things scheduled for the work that I do with people from the US, and it's always a fucking meme. Like, there are like time zone converters out there, right? Obviously. However, some of them don't use summertime, or it's like too confusing, or like it just automatically assumes that the Dutch time zone is CET rather than CEST during the... No, I don't work up in here, sorry. I forgot about that part. I trick people into spending money on something that could be watching for free. That's my job. Speaking of which, gamers, may I interest you in a little bit of... No, okay, fine, I won't do it. No. Subscribing would be awesome, though. Okay, we'll let the skulls dry. And I will use a little bit of Flayed One Flesh, I think, for both the tentacle as well as the skin on all of the skeletons. And I think that's where I'm going to be calling it a day. Then the next step that we're going to be doing, I think tomorrow, is going to be the bruising on the horse's skin. It's going to be fun. Nepal is 5 hours 45. Isn't that nice? A quarter-hour time zones, or a three-quarter-hour time. I hate everything about it. Okay. Doing a bit of relayering here too. I will add some bruising to this one, because this one has like, it's hanging off, like this looks the freshest corpse, you know? This one is hanging off of the side. There's also some rope, it seems, that is keeping this skeleton's mouth shut. This looks kind of painful up here, so we want to add some bruising in that area for sure. Yeah, this one also has a little bit of like a cord going through his mouth. God, Harbinger man is not very kind. Yeah, we will definitely add weathering to especially the skin, but I'm gonna do the skin for the horse next. Probably tomorrow. It's going quite well though. I'm very happy with how this one is coming along. Let me zoom in a little bit. I did some relayering on all of the, like tried to do what you suggested, Dylan. The edge highlighting on all of the armor today. So I tried to do some brighter spots in the darkest green. Then I did all of the silver on the shield here. So we did some edge highlighting on all of the shield's details. Hey, thank you, Louis. Welcome back. I edge highlighted all of the leathery details, so all of the brown straps and the reins and all that. Same for the pouches. I highlighted all of the black. Not all of the black, I just realized I didn't highlight all of the black, guys. I, for some reason, forgot the scabbard. Now that I'm looking at it. I did also highlight the bird. I was too excited to paint the bird, I think, which kind of makes me forget that I needed to do the scabbard. it's a bit too much. Oh. My paint is a bit too diluted. I'm too lazy to grab new ones. Maybe I shouldn't be lazy though. We can relayer some of the darkest bits later. I actually wouldn't mind having it a bit more. You subscribed just because you almost asked and then didn't? It was the perfect balance. Thank you very much. Right, so I did all of the black highlights. We did all of the silver highlights. So the chainmail is relayered. The little studs on the reins and all that. All of the little metal details. And then the same as well for the couple of little bronzy bits. I also did the weapon. Tried to make it look a little sharper. And then next up, we're gonna have to do quite a bit of, quite a bit of weathering. That's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll really let the mini come together, you know, because right now it can be. It's gonna be a little bit plain. But I think especially the horse's skin is going to make quite a difference. If you're still painting this after Golden Demon and want the feedback, just hit me up. Yeah, no, I'll let you know. I was thinking about finishing it and then sending you some pictures. If you have any feedback, I may go back in off stream probably to like fix a bunch of them. Or maybe I'll just take it into consideration for the next project, but that would be lovely. Criticism is always welcome. Anything that's jumping out at you right now that you think, oh my God, this fucking idiot, he didn't even notice that. Is it finished if you continue after feedback? It's never finished. What about the other skull right over here? Dude, Flayed One Flesh sucks ass. I don't like this paint anymore, man. It's the color that I want, but not even remotely the coverage. It's so thin. Is dat? Oh. Hè? Ja, altijd. Dank je, schat. Kijk.
Oh, spaart op.
Nee, nog al die dingen moet ik doen.
Is dat een puzzel of zo?
Ja. Het wordt meer zoals op de doos ligt er. Thick paint team. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the. I kind of wish I didn't buy this many Citadel paints. I didn't buy even that many. I know there's a lot of folks out there that just buy the whole range, but I did buy quite a few, and I kind of wish I didn't buy this many of them. But at least I now have a frame of reference, you know. I think that about sums it up. You gotta start somewhere, yeah. Oh yeah, I want to do the tentacle. That's the last little bit I wanted to do. I was gonna say, there was one more thing that I wanted to do. Good thing I have my little checklist. I wanted to relayer tiny little bits of the tentacle. So I like some of the paints. Yeah, there's a tentacle growing out of his head. Right over there. There's a horn. And then there's a tentacle. At least I think it's a tentacle. I'm treating the other one as a horn, and this one is a tentacle to me. It's a horticle. Well, one of them is like, you know, dangling down and the other one is dangling up. So you could make of it whatever you want, I guess. And they are nearly the same color. What is it, Milo? Milo and Toby are both here. That's not a tentacle, Lowko? Is that his head wiener? I'm not sure what this one is supposed to be though up here. I may honestly highlight it with the same color. I got a little tiny bit of green on here. No, that's way too bright. I will have to highlight that with a different color. I'm thinking about adding a little bit more of a sepia tone to especially the grip of the weapon and maybe some of the pouches, because I'm not in love with the way that they look. So that's the last thing I'll do today. This takes quite a long time to dry, so I think it'll be a perfect way to end it. But I'm gonna add a little bit more of a shading to some of the leather straps, I guess. The highlighting is nice, but wouldn't mind it if it was a slightly different tone. A little bit more contrast would go a really long way. Can you hear Milo? I don't know if you can hear Milo on the mic. You can. He's got a very hard life, guys. Doesn't he sound sad? He's really mastered his sad meow. You know what terrible misfortune has fallen upon him this time? The door is closed. The door is closed. What a terrible thing, Milo. Tell the people. Tell the people how you really feel. So you can actually paint this guy with 3 different helmets. Like there's 3 different helmet options. I went for this one because I like it, but I'm very happy with how this is coming along, guys. I think it's still gonna be quite a bit of work, I guess, to finish some of the details, but we're getting there. It's not quite yet to the point where we'll be able to finish it in a couple hours, I don't think. Maybe, but nah. It always takes longer than you realize. Especially with the base and all that. The base is also gonna take a little bit of work. Alrighty, let me do a big zoom and we can see where we are currently at. Here we are. I am pretty happy with the progress today. There's actually a tiny little bit of light tone that should also go into this little recess. I don't think I ever did that over here. This is not really something that I want to highlight because it's pretty much invisible. It looks kind of big on camera, but it's not that big in real life. Yeah, chat, no, don't make fun. But yeah, I think we made good progress. I like the silver bits actually. I was a little afraid that the brightest highlight edge on the shield and all of the metallics would be too bright. And it is definitely shiny, but it's like a good amount of shiny. I'm also very happy with how the bird is turning out. The bird is, I didn't even spend a lot of time on that. Yeah.